Now, a great deal of the time you guys don't see the kind of crazy things we do to front panels and bits and pieces. Now this one was literally covered in, hardly read the writing on, and we've just been cleaning it up. I've just been sort of getting a bit of off at first before you show you on video, but a bit hard to do one-handed of course, but this give you a bit of an idea. But what we can do is we can take a Cobra 146 cover, take all the dirt off it. Now we're still going to get those edges looking a bit better on there, but it's coming up pretty well. And this one's actually got a faulty meter in it as well, so we've pulled the meter out, thrown that away, and was off frequency. Power was pretty good actually, just a little bit off frequency, so it's no big deal. And what we'll end up doing is letting this soak a little bit, and next time you look at your CB radio or amateur radio, if it's been through me, you'll have to wonder whether it's been through a hot water tub or not, but quite seriously, it's only the fairly old ones that we've got to do this to. But it's amazing how much of the grime and rubbish comes off them. Similar with the cases, etc. These are fairly grotty at the moment. By the time we've finished and replace the screw, they'll come up pretty well. But yeah, just a bit of a short look at just what we do and how we get these things to come up. And a lot of people don't see the grotty work we do. They just see the finished product, and that's sort of okay. But we'll still wall that front a bit around that, right on those edges there. They actually come up a lot better than that when we're finished. So what we'll do is we'll have a bit of a look at that. Sometimes we actually have to take because of the silver that's on there, that's only half on there, sometimes we've got to go back to a totally black sort of front on that sort of system there. But better that than a patchy chrome look-alike sort of finish, as you can probably tell. Anyway, we'll give that a bit of a hit. Okay, so if you look back on the video before, we had this very grotty sort of trim on the front there. The actual Cobra 146 front had all rubbish over it everywhere, and this is not unusual. These things sit around for years. Now, with this outside trim, even though that normally has a nice chrome finish on it, when they get so worn that they can't be redone, we actually just sit there and go, righto, well, let's go back to the original black. And as you can see, the black actually works quite okay when you sort of start to look at the whole front cover. And we have to sort of find these fixes, because some of them, unfortunately, they're not going to come back to where you like them to be when they're original. But you can start getting them reasonably sort of close to a finish that will make the radio look 200% better. And covers a bit the same. You pretty much need to get all the grot off them first. We tend to use a few products. Don't laugh, but even Armor All can be very good on covers. They really can bring back that vinyl look quite well, that sort of plated metal. But yeah, so that's a bit of an idea how we take a very scrubby looking, in the light a bit here, as you can tell I'm in my kitchen here. But yes, it's still a bit wet at the moment, but it gives you an idea how we take something that really, if you were looking at it on a shelf, you'd throw it away, and but this is starting to really come up if I just throw off all the drops on it. But coming up well. Oh, that just made it worse. Good on you. Alright, well, anyway, that's my little 101 on cover repairs. And you need a sink, some soap, a couple of good, these Norwex cloths are fantastic. I use a lot of Norwex products. There's these ones over here as well. I used to be an agent for them, but I think it was only get my own cloths for the first year. But good products, don't get me wrong, but I'm just not into Amway and all that sort of stuff. But yeah, so a bit of dirty water, and well, it doesn't start, actually the water, if it ends up dirty, is a really good thing, because that's what you're taking off the front of that panel. And if you can survive all those letterings there, through, that's what you're looking to do, is to not lose any of that. So obviously nothing too abrasive on the actual panel itself, because that's what we're looking for. And actually I can just see there's still a remnant around this little spot here. The knob will cover it, but I'm still going to clean that off, just that little bit there. So we've still got a little bit of tidying up to do. But yeah, don't feel scared to do it. I mean, the Cobra is a good example. Cobra has one screw in the back, two screws this side, two screws that side. You do have to disconnect the meter. The meter's soldered in on the back, so undo the two tabs on the meter, and and on the volume pot there's one hex nut on there that you've got to undo. The front just comes off. The meter on this one was dead anyway, so we've got a new SWR power meter. Well, actually, it's the only ones we've got is the Cobra ones with SWR as well, so that'll sort of not be completely standard to be 100% honest, but I think people would rather a meter that's working than one that's not, so it's the one that actually comes off the atoms and all those. We've got about 10 of those, so they're good for fixes for these things. Okay, 73s, all the best. Cheers.